Well, what's up, folks? It is Wednesday, hump day. Barely say that, but it is hump day. If I had the Geico commercial, I guess I would end up playing that as well. But thank you for tuning in again tonight. Last night, of course, we had a great night with David Melander Jr. Tonight, we have on from the Rough Cut Sportscast, AJ Johnson talking about his Atlanta Hawks. And we'll see if the Hawks can pull it off, as the Sixers, we talked about it last night, allowed the Hawks to end up getting the game. And I'm pretty sure AJ will have a whole different discussion when it comes to that behalf. So we'll be talking hoops tonight again, NBA, Hawks, Sixers. We'll get into some college football playoffs as Nick, our gentleman, our scholar, beat writer, wanted to talk about it. And I see that Ryan popped in here in the green room. So we'll get everybody underway. We got about 15 minutes. We're trying to make it quick. With AJ, I'm Angel. And by the way, before I forget, also Duckie Cornish will be joining us here momentarily. The coach, he will be on with us in about 20 minutes. So for right now, I'm Angel, and this is Broad Street South. And I see my beat writers ready to go. So without further ado, here is Duckie. And busting out the sunglasses once again, Duckie, how are you this evening, sir?
Angel, I'm doing great. I'm super excited for this show. We're going to talk a little celebrity boxing. We're going to talk a little NBA. We're going to talk a little college football. It's like a perfect mix of three, and I can't wait to get started.
Yes, sir. It's going to be a lot of fun. And tomorrow night, we should have some more fun as well. As we have Aaron Wilson from the NFL, from the Houston Texans. We have Aaron Wilson with us tomorrow night. So tune in our regular time on Thursday at 7:30. And we're also going to bring in our national correspondent, fresh from the barbershop. It's Ryan Neff. Ryan, what is happening, sir?
It's Ryan F. Broad Street South. It's great to be with you this evening. My man up there, the Duck Man. I thought he was going to shave, though. He said he was going to shave today.
Soon. I have to take professional photos soon.
So you're going to shave today, brother? What's going on?
I said, no. Let me read the message. Let me read the message. That's not what I said.
Yeah, man, we got to talk to my man AJ about, let's see if he's got the cojones.
Oh, he'll have it, because listen, you can't get much more professional than that from the Rough Cut Sportscast. It is AJ Johnson representing his Atlanta Hawks.
Hey.
AJ, how are you, man?
What's good, guys? Thanks for having me on. I'm having fun. I'm excited for this game coming up. I'm excited to get into it with y'all, especially me and Ryan Neff. We've been hot for the last couple of days. I'm ready to go.
That's no problem. And I know you guys have a show tonight. By the way, if everyone wants to tune in, and by the way, follow the Rough Cut Sportscast, because they put on a great show Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and sometimes even bonus show after the show is over, because that's just what they do. But those guys, I mean, Vinny, AJ, obviously Aaron, Dylan, all great guys. They have a lot of fun on their show. So by all means, please check them out. Give them a follow. Give them a like. They put on a great show. So listen, the last time we were together was the Toronto Raptors game, actually, not that long ago, the last one before they decided to go away. And it was interesting enough that, they could have, I guess, walked away, AJ, if they wanted to with the win, but they didn't. It is what it is. But tonight, we're talking about as far as with the Hawks and the Sixers. And as we mentioned it last night, and we were just talking about it off air here before we came on air, is that Atlanta looked not so well in the first half, but exploded in the second half. And Trae Young came off, the bench. I know they started him later in the third, but came off and was just explosive and didn't stop from that point forward. So what do we expect from the Hawks tonight?
Yeah, man, I'm hoping that you can see the urgency that they had in the second half start from the middle, from the beginning of the game, right at the jump. That's what needs to happen. The urgency that they realized that their season was on the line, facing a 3-1 deficit against the number one team in the East, and they fought back from an 18-point deficit. That has to start at the minute the game jumps off, at the tip. And I think you will. I'm looking for Trae Young to start getting hot with the assists right away. 18 assists in the last game was fantastic. And that came from him starting to shoot from being cold in the beginning. If he can get everybody else going immediately, I think the game will come to him a lot more naturally in the second, third, and fourth period. And that's probably going to be one of the best ways to see them take this lead and head back to Atlanta for Game 6.
That's true. And I just had Vinny's comment up here. He said, AJ representing. This show is about to be great tonight. Like, subscribe, and share, everybody. And again, Vinny, as I just mentioned to AJ, all right, also, same here. Rough Cut Sportscast, everyone, I want you to just give these guys a follow. Check out their show because it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. They get to play around with a lot more graphics than we do, but I tell you what, it's a great time. It's like a party over there, honest to God. And by the way, we need to have another combined show as we did a couple of weeks ago, so that'll be a lot of fun. The same thing.
If I'm not mistaken, he's texting from class.
Is he really?
I'm pretty sure he's in class right now. Hey, love the support right there.
There you go. That's true. So listen, tonight I would expect Shake Milton to really get the bench going. I think he's been coming along little by little. Obviously, we know that Danny Green, he's out for the remainder of the playoffs and more than likely for the remainder of the season for the most part. But we have. Good Lord, as I just drew a major blank here. Joel Embiid, Jesus. Joel Embiid, who's also nursing his knee.
He's going to break again.
Yeah, he's nursing his knee. There's a lot of things that are going right for the Sixers. But again, it comes down to defense tonight because we all saw, AJ, that once you guard up Trey, I mean, you're taking away their biggest powerhouse. Smallest guy on the team, but the biggest powerhouse you would ever see from the Hawks. And I know he's 3 seasons into the league, if I remember correctly. This is his third year. Let me see. Yeah. I mean, the kid is only going to grow. And I mean, dare I say, maybe a Curry-like player, possibly.
You know, I have to do this because I do it all the time. When I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And I'd say it out loud, man. I was not excited about Trae Young coming in from Oklahoma. I did not think his inside game would translate the way it did in college. And he has proven me wrong. And I'm very happy about that. You say he's going to grow, but I've watched this guy become a superstar in our eyes during these playoffs. And I've seen that they have kind of got on Trae and kind of slowed him down. But the best part about him is Trae Young's a fantastic shooter. Trae Young's a fantastic ball handler. But his passing, and I know he just had 18 assists, but his passing is underrated. This man sets people up so well. You think about what I would say one of the plays of the game in Game 4 was that last three in the corner by John Collins late in the fourth quarter. And John Collins was a revelation in the second half of that game too. Mm-hmm. These guys really, they're so tight-knit. You know, they got together. Whatever happened in that locker room with Nate McMillan and those guys, they knew they came out in the second half and they were ready to roll. And I think that's why I think it's a big deal that Trae gets going with the assist right off from Jump Street. And the biggest reason for that is the problem that kept Philadelphia close is that the Hawks are hesitating on really good looks. And it's because they've been missing so many open looks. They went 12 for 40 from 3 in Game 4. Right. Now, first off, 40 attempts from 3, ridiculous. If y'all keep letting us have 40 attempts from 3, I promise you will pay. But they're hesitating on these shots. That could have easily been 17, 18 for 40 from 3 if they would just shoot the ball. Trae Young's getting them in good positions. He's getting the ball in the shooter's pocket, and they're thinking about it too much. Game 2 and 3 shooting woes are really getting in their head. That has to go away. You got triggers. We got shooters everywhere from Bogdan to Herter to Trae, even John Collins. Shoot the ball. Shoot the ball. Go down swinging. Live and die by the 3 because the way you guys have been doing this, you're going to live by that 3, and that's going to give you the best chance to open up the rest of the game.
Right. And Embiid had horrible Game 4, especially in the second half. Obviously, the Hawks made their adjustments, but part of it maybe was Embiid's knee. We don't know. Do you expect Embiid to kind of show up more tonight, and how do you think the Hawks have to respond to that?
You remember when you guys came on our show for our Welcome Wednesday last week, and I was talking about how, let Embiid do what he's going to do. Embiid's going to drop 39, 40 points. I feel a little different right now. Not just because he went 0 for 12 in the second half of Game 4, but it's because something's not right. I'm pretty sure there's something tweaked, there's something injured, and Joel Embiid's not going to sit out because this is too important to him. So what I mean now is you saw they stopped letting Clint Capella just handle him alone. With Danny Green being out, you can do a little bit more of the doubling on Joel Embiid down low because the rotations are a little bit better, not having to worry about so many shooters. Vernon Korkmaz has been great for you guys, but I don't fear him as much as I will fear Seth Curry shooting. And the rotation back to Seth from the double team in Joel Embiid was basically spot on in Game 4. I want this game at every point in time. I still believe Joel Embiid is going to have a hell of a game, but I need a body on him at all times. Be physical within the rules, because if something's not right, I'm not saying hurt Joel Embiid, but he needs to feel Clint Capella down low. He needs to feel John Collins if he comes on the double. And this big lineup, adding Danilo Gallinari in there for those doubles, I need you to be physical with Joel Embiid. Make everything feel uncomfortable down low. If he's missing layups and gimmies and bunnies, we're in a good spot.
That's for sure. Actually, I have one more question for you. So
Yeah.
I'm a little bit of a better for entertainment purposes only, and I like looking at the props. I'm going to ask you a very simple question. Trae Young is supposed to have points, rebound, and assists combined. So you add all three together. He's supposed to have right around 42.5. Would you go over or under, and why?
I'm going to go over.
Over.
Trae Young has a fire within him. You saw it when he was with New York, when he was playing in New York. And I believe the way they fought back instilled a lot of faith and hope in him. And to go, I think it was 0 for 6 or 3 for 12 in the first half, and then to end up with 25 points and still get his teammates together and they start hitting shots, I think he's going to feel the greenest light he's ever had in these playoffs. This game is really important. This is a trendsetter for the back end of this series. And I would say I'm looking for him to at least have 30 and 15 when it comes to points and assists, at least 30-15. And I think that will be what needs to get it done, unless you have a Ben Simmons who's actually like playing, which that boy better step up. If you want to keep playing the way he's playing, I'll take it. But at least offensively, I'll take it. But I think you're going to see Trae Young take over this game today. I like to say get zone 3 going. I want you to get back to what's worked this entire series against the Knicks and what you were doing in game 1. That high pick and roll with your option for Capella or John Collins for the alley. I'd rather be Capella almost every single time and John Collins leak out to the 3, because if we get him shooting, that's a 4th or 5th person you're talking about hitting threes at any point in time in the game. So I'm looking for a real big game from Trae, including getting everybody locked in and ready to go and get them shooting, not hesitating. Shoot the ball.
That's true, Brian.
Let me just say, first of all, before I get into my questions, my man has got the Atlanta Hawks logo with the wings all spread out. My man has got his wings all spread out. He's got the little gnome over there, but then he's got the Falcons hat, but then he's got a Zoo York shirt on. What is up with that, first of all? Now, let me get into it. 2 things about the Hawks, my man. First, keep Solomon Hill's butt on the bench because he stinks. He shouldn't be starting. I don't know what the hell they were thinking. And 2, will Clint Acapella stop playing like he's singing acapella and be more like Animal from the Muppets on the drums? Get physical with Embiid, especially with that knee. You and I were texting back and forth the other day. You still want them to be physical. I still think that they should just let Embiid get his and focus on Simmons and Harris and just make sure those 2 don't go off. Just let Embiid get his. I don't know what you think. You're the Hawks fan. Spread your wings, my man. Spread your wings. Talk to me.
I'm really glad you brought up the Solomon Hill point, because I have been begging for something to change. And at first, it was Tony Snell. I'm so mad at myself for thinking that because between Solomon Hill and Tony Snell, you're talking 7 points in 4 games and 1 steal from both of those guys. What's really upsetting me was Cam Reddish was cleared fully today by the Hawks medical staff, and they're still saying he's out for game 5. And I don't understand it, because he's more athletic. He's a better defender, if you ask me, and he can shoot the ball when needed. If you saw what you got from Tony Snell, sure, he can, slide his feet a little bit and be in front of somebody for a second, but then there's a blow by and a point. He's not what you need defensively. He can't score. Solomon Hill won't make shots, but he doesn't care to not jack. He jacks up shots left and right. And that's my issue. Even if they're bad, you're just throwing these shots up and it's hurtful. I don't know what the deal is and why they would clear Cam Reddish if you're not going to let him play, but I'm with you. Like Solomon Hill and Tony Snell to me aren't it. But if you got to play one of them, I mean, let's rotate as much as possible. Keep them fresh so that they're just playing good defense and not shooting. When it comes to Joel Embiid and Clint Capella, I agree that Capella needs to be more physical. He did a little bit of a better job in game 4, but again, that's you seeing a team just with so much heart really fight back. But if you can see that you did that in game 4, why not continue that role? You know you've been there. You know you can do it. I also want him to score like another 8 points. I mean, I know you're not a heavy scorer, but imagine if we're talking 18, 20 from Capella, not 9, 10, 11. You know, that's a big difference, especially if you're being physical with Embiid and trying to knock him off balance a little bit. Again, I don't want you to hurt Embiid, you know, not like purposefully, but I'd love for you to make sure he feels everything. Every single time he has the ball, even if he doesn't, he's getting a body bump, he's getting a hip, he's getting something where he is feeling uncomfortable. He's going to still have his 30 points. If he goes to 40 after what he did the other night, I'd be shocked. I really think he's not feeling like himself. But with Clint Capella playing better defense and really maintaining the boards like he did in Game 4, he's gonna be a big deal in why and what needs to be done tonight to win a Game 5.
I think so. You see, your boy Vinny says Cork Miles is about to drop 15 points tonight, boys. You heard it here first. And
you taking 5 from Ben Simmons?
Yeah, it could be a possibility. And before I let you go here, AJ, because I know you got to get ready for your show here. And again, I'll bring up before I forget, I'll bring up again on your Facebook page. But do you remember that game? It was Duck. Well, what was it?
Goose.
Exactly. Goose's Monte Cristo Lounge and Tobacconist. If you need a cigar, all right, to give to our Sixers players after the win, make sure you go to Goose's Monte Cristo Lounge and Tobacconist at cigargoose.com for all your cigar needs. Good job there by AJ. But yes, go ahead.
One more thing I want to say to Ryan before we go. It's not on the Hawks or the Phillies. It's about last night's game we were talking. Your thing about PJ Tucker being the reason they lost. Let me tell you, let me tell you this way in layman terms for you. It's something called Newton's third law of motion. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. PJ Tucker had 0 points. KD at that point in time had 49. If PJ Tucker put up 10 points, KD last night would have had 59. If PJ Tucker put up 20 points, KD would have had 69. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. And last night, I think it's actually the opposite.
No. PJ Tucker, give me something. You got
Why aren't you blaming Giannis? Why aren't you blaming Giannis? Defensive player of the year. Like, why aren't you blaming him?
Yeah.
What the heck?
Zero.
Fade away on James Harden. What are you doing? Back that man down and dunk the ball. Come on.
That's true. Hey, listen, AJ, I will give you the honor, sir. If you want to plug away, please, the Rough Cut Sportscast.
Awesome. Broad Street, appreciate you guys having me on. As I said, I'm AJ Johnson, 1/4 of the mighty Rough Cut Sportscast. You can find us Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 8:30 p.m. on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We have also now added a brand new show on Tuesdays called Diamond Talk. Everybody's been asking us about baseball. We have finally got it for you. That show is with Dylan Kearns and Aaron Mukes every Tuesday at 8:30. So now we're at 4 days a week. We're trying to get to 5. You can also catch us July 10th. We're going to have a UFC special for the McGregor and Poirier 3 fight. We do it all at the Rough Cut, man. So please go ahead, head over there, hit a like, hit a share, tell everybody about us because we're great. We're great. We're great. Hawks and 6.
I won't take that away from you whatsoever because it is true. I mean, it's a lot of fun. If you guys have not watched the show, it's definitely a lot of fun. When the 4 of them get together and they get on a roll, it's funny because it'll start out with Vinny, jump down to Aaron, come back to AJ. And it's funny because Dylan is like that quiet missile. He'll just sit so quiet and just wait for the right moment and just land one in there. So,
oh man, it's amazing.
Angel?
It's amazing.
Yes, sir.
I hate to do it to you, brother, but I'm going to go out on a limb here just to stir the pot with all the Philadelphia 76ers fans. Atlanta Hawks win tonight by 3.
Ooh. That doesn't feel
something
good.
just happened to his mic. I don't know what happened to his mic. I think he said the Sixers actually won. And that's what I heard. That's all right. We'll see. It's going to be a good game tonight. That's for sure. So, But AJ, listen, thank you so much. I know you have to roll because you have your show starting up. But thank you and Vinny. And when you see the guys, tell them I said hello, especially Aaron, because Aaron, once again, I'll keep mentioning it. He belongs at ESPN. I'm just saying ESPN in case they're listening. But AJ, thank you so much for coming on with us tonight.
Appreciate you guys. Thanks.
Peace out, bro.
Thank you.
All right. So we have the coach as I exit to here. So coming up, and again, if you guys check out their show, the Rough Cut Sportscast, it's a lot of fun with those guys. And again, we don't say things just to say it around here because it's like everything else. You earn your respect and everything else. And those guys are it's a great group of guys. A lot of fun. Check them out. Again, Wednesday through Friday, starting at 8:30, the Rough Cut Sportscast. And the coach should be coming in here momentarily. The coach, Duckie, should be on. So we're waiting for his arrival to come on there. Again, for everyone who has not been around for a little while or just tuning in, especially from Goose's Lounge for sure, but from Goose's Facebook. And Goose, and I know he's doing he's got an active week this week. And Goose, I hope you have safe travels, you and your wife. And we appreciate everything you guys end up doing for us as much as we hope we end up doing for you. But if you guys end up going to cigargoose.com, you will find different flavored type vapes. You'll also find your cigars. Again, you must be over 21. Key thing, because you're not going to have some 14-year-old or 15-year-old walking in the shop and thinking like they're 21. All right, so let's keep it real here. Yeah, including our young beat writer. But by all means, please go to cigargoose.com. Check out their inventory, see what they have. Their Monte Crystals, I mean, it is fantastic. If you guys go to a website, it's easy to navigate. And I'm pretty sure the help is second to none. So if you guys need to call them up, give them a call. But again, go to cigargoose.com. Check out all the different cigars that they have. And when we're up there September 12th, I don't know. I might have one between these two fingers here. I don't smoke. Hey, but it'll be a celebration time because all of us will be together. So again, we await the arrival here of Coach Duckie.
Hey, while we wait, I had a question for both of you. I tuned in Twitter this morning and I saw Tyler Glasnow. He did his press conference on his UCL tear. I don't know if you guys saw it, but I was very curious what your thoughts were on it because he made a really good point.
I yield the floor to my distinguished colleague, Angel Martin.
So I know that Tyler is trying to make a point as far as saying that, yes, because of the substance that they're trying to crack down on. And I get it. I believe the pitchers do need some sort of substance for sure to be able to at least stick the ball, because the one thing they keep talking about is obviously if it falls on the dirt, you're throwing it back and forth from the catcher. It obviously gets a little clammy at times. So they want a better grip. Tyler was saying, if I can show it here correctly, that normally with the substance, he was able to put in between his two fingers and the ball had a gap in between there. But now he's had to cup the ball a lot more because basically he stopped cold turkey from using the substance. So he said that it threw out basically his arm and elbow because he had to reinvent the way he's pitching. Now, he also talked about it. He just pitched 87 pitches or something like that just, the night before. And all this stuff is going on. And I get it when you have to change the way you are as a pitcher. No one likes it. But thanks to David Price, because of all this coming to play, because it was just a couple of World Series ago when he was smacking his jersey and basically the jersey was pulling back with him, which kind of got the ball rolling. And everyone knows that every pitcher's used it. This is not nothing new. But for Tyler to pretty much use the excuse that, you know what, because of the substance that we're no longer using anymore, this is the reason why I blew out my arm. Maybe partially, I would say maybe a quarter of it, 3/4 of it, it could have been just something he could have had that was building up now, but especially without having that substance, yeah, it could affect him. But I think the escalation of his conversation went just a bit too far. And then that's just me. But I don't think, I think Tyler, he'll get it, just like the other pitchers. And we'll see if there happens to be a big fallout between here and the All-Star break, then we know that they're going to have to go back to doing something or agree upon at least getting one substance that every pitcher must use.
Just real quick before Duckie comes on here, I'll just throw my 2 cents in. And look, what makes me laugh is if people don't think from the inception of the Major League Baseball that guys haven't been trying to get away with something from the get-go, from the inception of baseball. Mm-hmm. Guys are always trying to find a competitive advantage. But I did see the article, and I think it was Rodon, the pitcher. I can't remember. I'm not up on my baseball. He came out and said, and this is where I call BS on Major League Baseball. You're going to come out with the rule now where they're going to get a 10-game suspension if they're busted. But, hey, the Houston Astros cheated, and nothing happened to any of them, to none of them. What? Oh, hey, there you go. This is Kitty. Sorry. We're having a guest appearance. But look, Major League Baseball is so inconsistent, just like with the NFL. It makes me want to jam my head into a tree sometimes where you're coming up, and part of what Tyler Glasnow said is, why are you doing it now? Like, it's the middle of the season, and now you're going to come up with the rule. Why did you could go back like decades, and I'll say this to Duckie. Go back and like just Google Yahoo or just YouTube it. Phil Negro, Joe Negro. They both got. I mean, one of them got busted. The umpire comes out to the mound, and Negro takes out the file. He had a filer in his back pocket, and and they're looking at the mound, and the ump's looking down, and Negro grabs the back of his pants and throws the filing thing out of his pants, like, oops.
Exactly.
It's just such a joke, and I'm getting on a tangent, and I'm sorry because I know Duckie wants to come on, but I'm just there's just too much BS that goes on with the rules and everything else. So if you're going to suspend a player 10 games for that, but you didn't do anything to the Astros, talk to the hand. Talk to the hand.
No, we'll see. We'll bring up the clip a little bit later on. I got it up on cue, so we'll bring it up a little bit later on. But without further ado here, we want to bring up the guest of the hour here, the coach, Duckie. That we see him every week, in and out, as far as making the comments. But here is the coach himself. Coach, how are you this evening?
Good, you?
Good.
Duck news.
What's up? Yeah,
Pretty good fellow, Duckie.
So,
How are you?
Good, you?
I'm doing all right. I'm glad to finally meet another Duckie. I somehow have gotten this nickname. I didn't know that other people had the name. I'm honored to share a name with you, though, Duckie, so I appreciate it.
No problem.
So now the one thing I will say, and for those who are just, if you're new tonight to watching the show, we thank you for coming on, whether it's Instagram or Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, BroadStreetSouth.com, however which way you guys end up viewing us. But this goes to show you that we're always interacting, of course, with not only just us here in the room, but the people who end up watching the show, because if it's not for the people who watch the show, we wouldn't have a show, honest to God. Dougie's been there since day one, along with a couple of the other guys that I can mention, like Thomas has been there, Dave Strizak that's been in there. But Dougie's always been there to make sure he makes the comments. And even if he'd be taking the ride home, because I believe there was one time he was taking a ride home and still made his comment, it just goes to show that we like to bring not only the fans on, the people who watch the show, because it can make some interesting conversation. And Duckie, I know that you and I were talking about not too long ago, that thing that they called a fight. What is it? Almost like 3 weekends now at this point. That was the most embarrassing thing ever. I'll let you go on it because you and I know how we both feel.
Yeah, I'm not a big Mayweather fan. Like me, Mayweather's a punk. And look who he fought. He hasn't really fought anybody. Put him in the ring with Tyson, Holyfield, Lennox Luger. The list goes on. He would not be undefeated today if he was in that weight class. There's no way. And
What?
Yeah, it's all about money. He's legally robbing the bank. He said it himself.
Right. And that's the only reason why they ended up fighting, because the whole thing was that they decided to fight, and Mayweather said because he wanted to get paid. I mean, first of all, it was non-bout. They weren't counting the punches. I mean, they went the full rounds. Why wouldn't they? Because people are paying good money to watch, what I will call end up being garbage, because that's what it was. And I understand this. Yeah, this kid, he's a YouTube sensation, whatever. I understand he wants to become a boxer, but if you want to become a boxer, then put your time in. Don't think just because you had 2 fights, or a fight beforehand.
He only had 1 fight, and he lost.
Yeah, well, but again, it goes to show you. I understand. Listen, in anything that you want to do in life, you have to make sure that you prepare for it. You stay focused, whatever it is, whether you're becoming a broadcaster, a podcaster, a limo chauffeur service. Whatever it is, you got to make sure that you put your dedication all into it. Now, again, when you're paying for this stuff, I mean, they paid Mayweather just to come into the ring. I mean, you could have paid me. I could have went there and just danced around for 8 rounds. Yeah, but listen, again, Duckie, I don't know how much more of this stuff we're going to end up seeing. I mean, boxing within itself is taking a major hit. I know David Melandra spoke up a lot last night as far as when it came to boxing, and I know he offered his view and his opinions on where it's trying to come back to. But because of bouts like this, and if it's going to continue to happen, it's not going to make any sense, because right now the UFC has made leaps and bounds over boxing. I mean, there's no comparison whatsoever.
Pretty soon they're going to take away boxing. It's just going to be UFC. Because UFC is taking over everything right now. And people that's in UFC is transferred over to the WWE. If we notice. Look at Ronda Rousey. She was in the UFC.
Yeah.
And she's now in the WWE.
Yeah,
Boxing is going to be done, and UFC is going to take over.
but
Because
that's
boxing is not how it used to be back then.
Oh no!
That's when
Listen,
you had all the good fights.
no, you're never gonna get days from Muhammad Ali. You're not gonna get days from Sugar Ray Leonard, right?
No.
Marvelous Hagler. I mean, all your great boxers from back then. Oscar De La Hoya. I mean,
Put
none of
Mayweather in the
them.
ring with them.
What's that?
Put Mayweather in the ring with them. He would not be undefeated.
No.
Yeah, they weigh 50 pounds more. Like Floyd's 5'8". He's the king of fighting guys at his own weight. Isn't that the whole point of boxing?
He hasn't fought anybody. I don't even count Pacquiao as a fight.
Yeah, listen, that is Pacquiao's. I mean, he might actually be the only hope left for boxing at this point. I know he's running for is a president of the Philippines, if I remember correctly. So he's kind of a little bit busy right now trying to get his political career going. But again, we'll never see boxing. Will never be what it was in the yesteryear. It's not.
No,
I mean, I understand the different lightweights, welterweight, heavyweights. We get it, but there's not someone out there that can. I mean, unless Mike Tyson takes over and does something to completely, change boxing within itself. I mean, UFC is just you're just not competing against UFC. Dana White has put together a tremendous product, and as long as Dana White doesn't walk away, as we mentioned it last night, as long as he doesn't walk away from UFC, you will not compete to the ranks of the UFC, especially when you have Joe Rogan. I mean, an incredible announcer, and the guy's a beast. And the guy's he's a beast, but you're not gonna. I'm sorry, but
Can I argue why you would? Can I argue why you would? So these celebrities are taking over, right? So
Right.
2 weekends ago, or no, it was last weekend. It was the YouTuber versus TikToker event, right? All these TikTok dancers, they fought all these YouTubers. I have a 12-year-old brother, and he asked me at the dinner table, he said, "Hey, are you going to watch the YouTuber versus TikToker event?" And I was like, you're 12 years old. You don't watch boxing. Why would you watch this? It's like low-level boxing. He said, "Oh, but I'm a big fan of XYZ." And I think the younger generation connects with these celebrities a lot more than the older generation does. And a lot of our sports hours all run by the stars. So I think boxing is starting to do the same. They're saying, okay, Logan Paul is a more interesting fight than Billy Joe Saunders, even though Billy Joe Saunders is a better fighter. So I guess my question to you is, do you buy the whole celebrity thing? And what would your dream celebrity fight be?
That's a tough one. Because there's not many fights out there that can be fight. Because a lot of the old people are retired. And they're trying to come back. Like Mike Tyson. He hasn't fought since 2015.
Look, man.
He came back in an exhibition match.
And, Duckie C down there, I'll pick his brain. Look, man, when I was growing up and I was younger, and we had Dave Miranda on yesterday, and he talked about guys aren't unifying the titles and that. But look, when I was growing up and boxing was a thing, because you only got to see it on TV every once in a while, the top 10 guys in each division, you knew who the hell they were. And you knew who the hell was coming up. And you knew you were going to get good fights. Now
I'm a Tyson guy.
Now when you take
I'm a Tyson fan.
What's that?
And I'm a Tyson guy. And every time Tyson came down here, I go to all his fights. Me and my dad, we all grew up around Tyson. But Tyson met his match when he met Holyfield.
Yeah.
I think money is also big, right? I mean, you see, like, there aren't many great heavyweights anymore. I mean, you have Wilder, you have Fury, you have Joshua, you have Ruiz, but there's you can go make $35 million in the NFL, or you can go make $20 million in the NBA to average 7 points a game. I think that's another big thing with boxing is a lot of the money, it doesn't even compare to the other leagues. But
no,
you could bring back Butterbean and George Foreman and stick it on pay-per-view, and people are going to watch it because that's how hard up they are.
Fighter on pay-per-view. They're taking the Street Fighter, putting on pay-per-view. Why they can't do that?
They could, and you guys are right. As far as you could bring back George Foreman and Mike Tyson, I know he wants to have a rematch. I don't know how soon they'll be able to put it together, but this time he said he wanted it to count. The first time was the little exhibition bout, him coming back, and I will tell you this much, not for nothing, but you can tell that Mike trained, both of them trained for the most part, but Mike. If you were to tell him right now, it's like, listen, Angel, we want you to go to a ring just 5 rounds with Mike. And how much am I getting paid? $5. Listen, give me $1 because I'll exit out the ring before you pay me the $5 for staying there for 5 rounds because Mike is still a beast. No matter which way you look at it, Mike Tyson's still a beast. And I think
he's the best man on the planet.
If he wanted to come back, Mike would have absolutely no problem selling out arenas. He knows that. And he got the itch to come back. And God bless him because he can still do it. Just because it's the funniest thing because, many, many years ago, when someone turned 50, 50 was the old 100, if you want to, put it into terms. The new 50 now, like this guy here, is the new 20s. The mentality's there with the 50, don't get me wrong, the maturity. But as far as the body, it's at 20. Ryan can agree with me because he's only 2 years older than I am. But I would tell you this much. You can be 50 years old because you look at, and again, I'll just use it because I'm down here in Tampa. If you look at the GOAT, right, he's turning 43 years old.
Oh, my God.
And listen, I'm just talking about, I'm not giving him any kind of crazy props or anything else like that. I'm just talking about the age. He's been able to stay healthy and go on this regimen, most of it because when he was in New England, he had a crazy line that protected him. Down here, they're trying to get better. I'm pretty sure this year they'll probably end up doing it with the Bucs here. But at the age of 43, to still be playing professional football, even after it hits, a couple of surgeries, I know he just got his knee operated on. I mean, listen, you can do whatever you choose to do. But if Mike Tyson decides to come back anytime soon, guaranteed that would be a sold-out pay-per-view event. And I would say you go at least 10 rounds.
If it was Tyson Holyfield, they'd have to wear headgear. Because Holyfield to be afraid, you'd have to get the salt and pepper out.
Tyson bit his ear off. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yes. I watched the fight. It was embarrassing.
Let me ask you this. If that Tyson was an exhibition match, you think Tyson would have killed him?
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah.
You never seen Tyson's exhibition match?
No, I didn't. Boxing lost me a long time. It has to be something of a superb fight now for me. That Mayweather crap, couple weeks, whenever the hell it was, I don't know, man. It just I don't think the upper management of boxing knows what in the hell they are doing anymore. They just don't.
He's talking about fighting Jake Paul now.
Yeah.
Fighting who?
Jake Paul.
Oh,
dude, just go.
Logan Paul and Floyd got $1 million.
Floyd's always going to be about the money. Yes, I tell you what will happen to Mayweather. He's going to get too cocky. He'll want to make too much money. And look, and he'll be like, remember, Larry Holmes pushed it and pushed it and pushed it. Everybody thought Larry Holmes was going to wind up undefeated like Rocky Marciano, and Larry Holmes eventually got bit.
Anybody can be beat.
Floyd's all about the money. That's all he's about right now anymore. You want to come back. You want to fight somebody decent. Fight one of the younger bucks. You want to put your money where your mouth is. Fight one of the younger bucks and see where you still stand. And I guarantee you, one of the greatest defensive fighters of all time. But he fights one of the younger bucks that are a lot quicker than him now, he'll get his ass kicked.
Obviously.
One way or another, he's going to lose. One way or another. Time is only going to tell.
What? Okay, go ahead.
Just remember, he's only 19.
Now, I will bring up the screen here because as far as we're talking about, and we saw that for some folks who didn't see it, and I would once again, here comes the disclaimer portion of the show. So, YouTube, Facebook, I do not own the rights to this video that you're about to see here, okay? But it is available on public domain before you shut down the actual show here. But this is from Mike Tyson just a couple months ago, about 6 months ago. Mike Tyson and Roy Jones. And I will tell you what, Coach, we'll let this roll for the whole 4 minutes.
They call this a draw.
Yeah. But I want to roll this because I'm pretty sure if Brian didn't get a chance to see this, but towards the later rounds, listen, Mike wasn't playing around because even Roy said afterwards his ribs were hurting.
Iron Mike Tyson. Legends. Let's give him a good show. Touch gloves if you want. Ooh.
November 28, 2020. We'll have to really be on the ball, come out as fast as possible.
Roy has two. Go ahead, Roy.
Mike Tyson with the camel kibber and upstairs with that left hook, and there's a little of that bobbin weaving, of course, custom intricacy.
Two of my uncles fighting at the barbecue.
12 ounces. Not a little bit of the offense.
Hold on to it.
Just 2 minutes. Give me
He said he's breaking his hand. I got to hold it. You still got it?
Well, there's a double trap.
That's power. Okay, come on.
And Mike Tyson exploded. He doesn't want. He's trying to turn this into a wrestling match.
Yeah, go ahead, Roy.
Though coming forward remains with that left hook it off.
You ain't coming to play.
Primes, but looking for just something at least.
He can't let Mike get
Mike, man. You got to keep the ribs off that butt.
Mike's. Oh, yes, Mike.
Double left.
That's not good.
Whoa. Strikers ever, including Ed Benner, like some of them. There's Jones.
Get off, Roy, with the no look.
Hit him, moving the head a bit, trying to walk down.
Air conditioning comes into play. Ooh, beautiful footwork from Mike Tyson.
Mike do it.
The left hand. Is it entertaining and exciting? So they'll have, but I heard that.
You just boxing.
Hey, man.
What's the best?
Use that adrenaline. Oh, you're breaking it down for us, brother.
Hey, man, this is what I feel about it at the same time.
Oh, and Jones has done so much damage over the a very good uppercut of the day. And Jones, the footwork, the speed is in his prime, but Jones trying juke here.
What Roy Jones is doing
This is a pro wrestling announcer with some of this grappling, maybe warning Roy Jones Jr. from.
I'm really impressed with Mike Smith.
Jr. looks like Pillsbury Doughboy, man. This is
Get off there, Roy. Get off.
Re-encouraging them. 2 legends left
There, Mike Tyson is there.
yeah.
coming up on the rattling Roy Jones jump. Oh, there you go.
When he has him
Oh, there's Sean the Bruce. Mike Tyson, Pig Jones Jr.
Roy, you're to get out of there, though. Get out of there, Roy. Get out of there. Right here. That's how you handle it.
Tyson tries to get the left hook side. Mike Tyson trying to deliver. And Jones. And we're in round number 6, scheduled for 8. A shell of what they were in their prime. But Tyson, left hook just up.
if he doesn't,
The body and right at distance.
Yeah, right there. Like Snoop said, he has to put a little bit.
But still standing in there, missile.
the other big lights in his face.
Yeah, you got way more footwork.
Exactly.
I'm going to pause it there for a second because there was a point in time where Mike Tyson, obviously we can tell that he was almost exhausted at that point. But him and Roy, when they went back into their corners, getting into rounds 5, 6, and 7, the difference was that Mike started getting back to like that deep breathing. But you could see in Mike's face, the most crazy thing is like you were looking at Mike when he was 20, because at first it started like, okay, this is kind of like a charitable event, even though it wasn't a charitable event. But Mike just came in with the mindset like, you know what, Roy and I are going to go back and forth and this and that. And it was, it was mild talk. But Coach, correct me if I'm wrong here. You look at round 5, round 6. By round 7, Mike was back to being Mike, and Mike was ready to take on Roy.
Definitely, definitely.
It was insane to see. That face, because when the bout ended, Mike Tyson, he said it. He wanted to fight him, but this time for real. It was just not even a minute after the broadcast. And by the way, Snoop Dogg did a tremendous job that night.
He definitely did.
Yeah, it was. He made it fun. He made it interesting, and he took as many jabs as he possibly could, which made the bout even better. But Mike Tyson that evening turned back, the clock as best he possibly could. And Roy, as much as he was talking to him, he was talking to the announcer, and he was trying to take short breaths because the deeper the breath he ended up taking, the more it ended up hurting. And you could see Roy just kind of holding his chest up because he's like, he asked him at the very end, so, Roy, you're okay? So listen, even though this was, one of those bouts that really didn't connect, but Mike got me. My ribs are hurting. And you would imagine that's that night. And again, you're talking about 2 50-plus-year-olds. So now when,
Tyson has a box since 2015.
Right.
Roy's last fight was 2018.
Yeah, so you got to think about it. 3 years away from the ring, you can train all you want to. Don't get me wrong, but also when it comes to age 2, listen. Again, I think I'm some spring chicken, which I'm not at this point. But I still, I can still move around, still do all the things that I know that I can do. But when you come from an injury, especially when it comes from boxing, in your 20s, yeah, you might bounce back a week or two, maybe tape it up a little bit, man up, and you're good. You're in your 50s, you can talk all the smack you want to, but me being Roy, when I walked out the ring from Mike, like, hey, Roy, how you doing? I'm good. As soon as the camera went away, because that's the way. You can't tell me that's not the way the man was feeling. But listen, that was a great bout. I hope it happens again, and I'm quite sure it will.
Tyson was having Buster Douglas and Evander Holyfield flashbacks. He probably looking at Roy and then saying, that's.
They was talking about that being the next fight.
What's that?
They was talking about that being the next fight. Tyson and Holyfield to be the next fight.
Ooh, that would be interesting. That would be interesting because it's been some years now since it happened. So that would be extremely interesting if it does happen.
That happens,
it could happen.
I hope it does.
It could definitely happen. Now, Coach, I want to ask you because I know we're talking about as far as boxing. We know those of us here on the show, and maybe the viewers don't know, but as far as take us back as far as for you, when did sports come into your life, and then when did you decide that you want to become a coach?
Well, I've been coaching since I was 10. Since I was 10 years old. So I coached my brother's team. Then I stopped because I had played football myself.
Okay.
And I went back to coaching and only lost like 7 games since I've been coaching. I took the team to like 8 championships and 5 Super Bowls. So football's a part of my life all year long. And I'm about to get back to coaching again because I'm on day shift now. So I took them to Philly, upstate North Jersey, like all over for the state titles. And those kids, they love football. And whatever they do, I do too. I've been coaching since I was 10 years old.
What you need to do, Coach, is actually take even if it's your cell phone, take snippets of your year from practice, right? And as the year progresses, and then it's kind of hard to do because unless the person's live, but just take even pictures and then just send them our way. That way, at least we can see the progression of the team as it goes along, because it's always fun to follow coaches live of what goes on with them. So, because you're going to have your good weeks, you're going to have your bad weeks, but it'd be fun to see how, since you're coming back into it, to see how your team progresses throughout the season. So make sure you do that.
All right, definitely I will. This will be the first year I came back to coaching since I've been at work. I haven't coached since 2014 because I started working. So this will be the first year coming back to coaching, and it's gonna be. I got fresh kids and everything. I think I'm gonna coach my nephew's team and see how that goes. So
what kind of offense?
Last year he went to. I took him to Cali. They went to Cali last year. They played against Snoop Dogg's team.
Nice.
Cali.
Whoa.
Very nice. Listen, and Snoop Dogg does not take his coaching skills lightly.
Oh, no, he don't.
If anybody's ever seen any of his footage, he takes it seriously.
Just have to find my man DC a better hat for the next time he comes on.
I got all kinds of hats.
No. That hat does not change. That hat stays just like that. So the hat does not change. Listen, I know as well as our young Duckie. Duckie, I know that, again, last time we talked about it kind of briefly when it came to college football. I know they're trying to expand as far as the playoff system. I think if you're going to mimic the NFL and or vice versa, if the NFL is going to mimic certain things when it comes to college football, what do you feel and how do you feel that college should be expanding this whole playoff round? Because I know they went to this, 4-man thing at the end of the season, and we get to see who plays who when it comes down to the national championship game. But how do you feel as far as the way it's going to be structured?
I mean, I'm not a big college fan. But
the other Duckie.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I've had my college football. Okay. So I, like Duckie below me, I was also not a big college football fan until I went to college and I picked the school I picked. Because Clemson's so good, I follow college football heavily. I don't like the 12-team system. I don't think it changes anything in terms of who wins. I don't think it creates better games. I actually think it is a false sense of hope for the one conference team that gets that auto bid that's going to be ranked 12 and have to play the 5th best team in the country. I'm still learning college football. I'm still learning the game. I think there's certain years where it would be nice just to see the NFL talent get to face off against each other. I know there was one year where Baker Mayfield was the first pick. Sam Darnold and Saquon Barkley would have both been in the playoff that year, but I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of it. I don't think it changes much of what goes on. But if you want to do it, that's fine. Clemson will be whoever, and we'll win some chips while we're doing it because we have the best recruiting team, and we're about to get Arch Manning. So go Tigers!
As he's talking, Angel, I'm sort of having, and I wish you would have had the clip of in Empire Strikes Back where Yoda's hanging on to Luke, and they're Luke is running through everything, and Yoda's trying to teach him let the force flow through you, and you must learn. And that's the vision that I was sort of having as he was talking just that. Look, the 12-man playoff, and we'll get my man, the one down here. We'll get his opinion on everything too. But I just wanted to put my 2 cents in real quick. It is going to happen. The one thing I do like about it is the College Football Playoff Committee has already said they're looking at giving the top 4 teams buys. And there's no automatic qualifiers. They will pick.
No, there are
best teams.
It's 6. It's 6 conference champions and 6.
What they're saying that
at large.
But they've also come out and said they are going to explore. Which this is what I like. No automatic qualifiers. They're talking about a couple scenarios, and I did read about the one you're talking about. But if they do it that way, where there's no automatic qualifiers. And then the College Football Playoff Committee just selects the 12 best teams to play off. I like that because it look, the Pac-12, the Big 10, Big 12, the Big 10 plus 2, the Big 12, whatever the hell that conference is now, where they have 10 teams in it, just like the Big 10. They should just call it the Big 10 plus 4 because that's what it is. It gives everybody, and I know what you're saying, Nick. Duckman, top guy, the top ducky over here. I know what you're saying, that you don't think that the lesser teams will have a chance. My young Padawan. On any given day. Now, is it few and far between in college football? Yes. But the only reason why all this is happening is because of what's going on at Bama. It happened years and years ago when everybody thought that the SEC was becoming too dominant. Then they went from the BCS to the playoff. Well, now Alabama's still too dominant. So college football, and again, they were going to revisit it after a certain amount of time anyway. People called for 8 teams, but now it is going to go to 12. It will. My man in the Eagles hat, take the hat off and then tell us what your opinion is.
I'm not a big college fan. But if I had to pick, I'm a Gator. If I had to pick, I'm a Gators fan. I'm a Florida Gators fan.
See now he doesn't have to take off the hat.
Gross.
Because once again, our national correspondent is a huge Florida Gators fan, but it's okay. Listen, I'm kind of on the fence. I do like it in theory of what they're planning to do. They have to iron it out. I think there's also probably a lot more money involved with doing this because as now the players are going to start soon getting paid. Rightfully so, because these universities making so much money off of them. Now, as far as young Nick saying that Clemson's going to be back there, who is right now your backup quarterback there, Nick?
Our backup quarterback is a first-round pick in the MLB draft, so that not great. But DJ is big, he's thick, he's got a lot of weight on him, so that might help him in terms of not getting hurt. He could be more durable. But as of right now, our backup quarterback is nowhere to be seen.
All right. Well, guess what? That means that you guys this year will be absolutely not seen either when it comes to the college playoffs. Because Trevor Lawrence, we already know he went to Jacksonville, going down to Urban Meyers. We'll see how that program's going to work now because it's an extended university. We love to call that goofy team down there in Washington, DCU. We got to and might as well make what JXU for Jacksonville University, because that's what it's going to end up turning into, at least for the next couple of years, for that matter. But listen, I'm not against. I'm not for it. I mean, it is what it is. I know they're trying to do things differently because they need to change it up. The college program has been the same for years. The one thing that I will say, aside from the CFP, is why is it? And I wish they would incorporate in the NFL that if you could make a one-handed, 1-foot catch in college football in the end zone, why is that not allowed on the pro level? And I wish someone would give me a definitive answer, because you're making two different rules basically for the same game. And Ryan, I guess I'll give that one to you, because that, to me, it drives me nuts, because all these outstanding college athletes come in here, you see the one-handed grab, tiptoe inside the end zone, touchdown. Do the same thing in the NFL. Like, nope, nothing.
Didn't Odell did that when he first came in the NFL?
Yep, sure did.
I've said for years and years and years, ever since I was little, if you catch a ball in bounds with 1 foot, you're in bounds. That's like saying in the NBA, a guy going for a loose ball and it's going out of bounds, and you still have 1 foot. It's like the referee going, well, you didn't have 2 feet in bounds to save it.
Wait, but if he has 1 foot out of bounds, he's out.
Well, what I'm saying is, if let's say you're going for a loose ball out of bounds in the NBA and you've got 1 foot in, but your right leg is hanging close to touching out of bounds, and then you throw it back in, and then the NBA ref going, well, no. You had to have both feet on the court as you're reaching out to get the ball. It's so stupid. It's dumb. I just if you catch the ball and in bounds, any part of your body before you go out of bounds, you are in bounds. I never understood it. I don't get it. I don't know what the NFL thought years and years ago when they came up with that, but it doesn't make any sense to me. Because now, granted, college football receivers are always trying to practice getting both feet in bounds. But you know how easy it is for some of those guys to just catch it on the sideline and just make sure they got the 1 foot planted? I don't understand it. I don't get it. I understand what Angel's saying. I mean, you're guessing you would actually have to write to the NFL and say, yo, just break it down for me on what you were thinking. So
yeah. It's true. I don't know. We'll see. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot more debates coming up as the college football season comes around. And I know someone has the internal clock going. So how many days until the start of the season?
I believe. Oh, wait a minute.
72? Is it 72?
Let's see. I think it's 73.
73.
Huh?
Is that right?
Yep, 73.
Yeah, I got 87.
Because the first full slate of college football is August 28th, and then my birthday is on the 29th. What a joy of a weekend that is going to be for yours truly.
It's all right. It is okay. It should be a lot of fun.
Hey, real quick, Angel, I wanted to get my man DC down there what his take is on the upcoming Eagle. I know it's only June, but what do you think about Hurts? What do you think about is going to go down with him? Just what do you think about the overall
Nick
season
Mullins?
as a whole?
Yeah, really.
Yeah, I think he'll do good. You just put pieces around him, and he'll be good. Just the line, we need the offensive line is what we need. And somebody to protect the quarterback. We didn't have that with Carson Wentz. And you're only going to be as good as your line. That's what I tell people all the time. That's what I tell the kids. I mean, if you don't have a line, your quarterback is going to be running out of the pocket forever. And that's not good. So if your quarterback got to run out of the pocket, something's wrong. That's how I see it. If they can protect Ertz, then they have a long season to do good. If they can't protect him, it's going to be one down season.
Sixers are blowing out the Hawks right now, my friends.
I'm not a Sixers fan.
Wait, what's your NBA team then?
Uh-oh.
Huh? I'm a Kobe guy.
So you're a Lakers fan?
I grew up a Kobe guy.
Wow. Okay,
He's
Lakers fan.
He's like me. He's got his people give me crap all the time about why I'm all over the place with my sports teams. There's a story behind every one of them. See, I'm not alone. My man's an Eagles fan. He's a Kobe fan. Where does Kobe go? The Lakers. He grew up a Lakers fan because of Kobe, but Kobe's a Philly guy. He's from
Philly.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, like, props to you, my man. Props to you, my man.
I'm not a Phillies fan in baseball.
See?
What's your MLB team?
Chicago. I'm a Sammy Sosa guy.
Oh, the Cubs. Okay. Wow. Listen, learned so much tonight.
I don't see now. I do not feel so bad. You learn something.
You've lucked out.
Don't get me wrong. I will go to the game and watch it though, but I will not watch the Phillies game. I will go to the game.
College team?
If somebody has tickets, hey, you want to go hang out with me? Yeah, then I'll go. Same with college. I'll go.
Oh yeah.
Mr. Clemson Tigers, Brooklyn Nets. Who's your baseball team, Duckman?
I'm a Yankee fan.
Oh, Yankee fan. Who else? You just he's a
Chicago.
He's
Chicago Gators.
He's got NHL playoff fever since he went to his first game the other day, right? Last week.
Yeah, I'm a Carolina Hurricane fan now. I'm very sad. The one game I go to is the one game Vasilevsky puts on a shutout, and didn't get to watch the fans go wild after a goal. But you know what? The Lightning won in 5, and now they got this big series with the Islanders. So,
see, I can't. When it comes to baseball and hockey right now, I can't talk too much junk. So, because I am a Blackhawks fan, and hey, I'm still satisfied. 3 cups in 5 years, from 2009 to 2015. And as a Pirates fan, I'm begging you. I put it on Twitter. If the Pirates organization is listening right now, just listen to me. Listen to me. Sell the team to an organization or an owner that will reestablish the tradition, because all you are is a AAA team now for other teams in Major League Baseball. I'm begging you. I'm begging you. I am begging you. Just sell the team. Please end the madness. Just end the madness.
It's going to be a while before that happens. They're looking like the Bad News Bears of 2021.
Oh my God,
it's bad.
I think about all the adjectives. They stink. They're putrid, pungent. They're rank. They're rancid. They're horrid. I'm sure Duckie can go online right now and look up his thesaurus, and come up with other adjectives. It's just they are bad. I mean, they're bad.
No, not that they are. But hey, it's just the way it is. But listen. We are up on it, and I'd like to thank everyone who tuned in tonight. Of course,
yep. Later on, probably September, we're going to talk about this Jersey kid.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Remind me. That's correct. Yep. Remind me, because you did mention him, the running back, correct?
Yeah.
Yep. So remind me, because, I wanted to follow him to see exactly how he's going to end up progressing. So, just remind me.
Gotcha.
All right. Listen, for everyone – while you guys get the chance, please go out there to BroadStreetSouth.com. That's BroadSTSouth.com. Check out everything we have going on, from Nick's articles to our past shows. Again, there's the articles that will be for Nick. And also, while you're there, just click on that store icon. And while you're clicking on that store icon, you will see Broad Street South merchandise up there. Take a look. Women's tees, men's tees. We got
Ryan's getting
hoodies,
some leggings.
Leggings and a fanny pack.
There you go. Yeah, listen, leggings right there, and if you spin it around, you can see our model
wanted the white ones.
was around for us. No, they aren't white. Every color under the sun, you can get it.
Oh my God!
We got socks, bottles.
Yeah,
you name it. Listen, it's all there. So everyone, check out.
We don't have hats just yet.
Nope, just yet. But I am working on it.
He told me this the other day. I'm a hat guy, so he said he ain't have no hats and stuff yet.
No, not yet. Because the problem is, everything else you end up setting up, if the stitch line, as I mentioned last night, if the stitch line does not look good, that would be like buying a hat from the dollar store. You'd imagine paying, let's just say if the hats were $15 and you go put on your head and the wind blows the letters off, that's going to be utter embarrassment. So I'm not trying to make that happen by any means whatsoever, because I want quality material, not that stuff you buy from Dollar General. But listen, thanks, Duckie, for coming on. Coach, we appreciate it. Are you coming on with us tonight?
You're forgetting my logo over here. Wait.
Oh, boy. Hold on.
Where is he?
Wait a minute. I'll get your logo up there in a second.
Where is he?
Hey!
And there's your logo. my older brother there. And by the way, everyone, don't forget to go to cigargoose.com. That's cigargoose.com. Again, Goose's Monte Cristo Lounge and Tobacconist. By all means, take a look at the merchandise they have out there, cigargoose.com. And thanks once again to Goose himself and his wife Janine for making things happen, because we know we have full faith that this is going to be something tremendously big. So thank them for being our media outlet. And by the way, if you guys seen the little setup here, it looks a little bit differently as far as when it comes to the angle of the show. Well, there should be a new banner here coming up here momentarily. So we're making some adjustments here in the studio as the studio continues to kind of evolve around here for the most part. So I am in Studio A, still looking for the naming rights here for the studio. And my producer, the lovely Deborah, is at Studio B, always listening to what's going on. So thanks to Debbie for always being there with me week in and week out. To Christina, who also likes to watch the show, because you can't forget about Christina as well, who watches the show. For, the young Nick. And by the way, Nick, I'm starting to kind of feel here a little, lonely, because the family, I haven't seen them tune in here. I know they're busy, don't get me wrong, but I haven't seen Mama Lisi up there in a while, so maybe they need to come back during football season.
All right, we'll definitely talk to them. I don't know. My dad has been working ridiculous. He's actually working like Australian time right now. So hours have been nuts for him, and the rest of the family. It's heating up. Summertime's heating up. Swim team's heating up. So it's going on in the Lisi household right now, and I wish the best for all of them. I haven't seen them since Sunday.
You don't have to cover. They're all out looking for a good hairstylist for you.
That's probably what they're doing. Listen, to everyone else, we will have on again tomorrow night. Aaron Wilson from the NFL, your Houston Texans, will be on with us tomorrow evening, again, our regular time on Thursday night at 7:30. So this is bonus week of shows. And then after this week, that's it until next week. But next Thursday, do not forget, 7:30, we will have on the World Series hitting coach, former player Milt Thompson, will be with us next week at 7:30. That should be a fantastic show, along with Aaron Wilson tomorrow. So thank everyone for tuning in last night, for tuning in again tonight. And again, don't forget tomorrow at 7:30 with Aaron Wilson. We will leave you guys with a little jingle here that maybe Ducky and the other one here won't like too much. But go Sixers as we end the show here. Thanks everyone for tuning in. We do appreciate it. And by the way, shout out to, again, Last Out Media for their 1-year anniversary, to John Crane, which I reached out to him earlier today with Vince and John Barcher. Congratulations, you guys, on that 1-year anniversary. You guys are doing great things, and it's good to see it. So for everyone else, we will see you tomorrow, and I'll leave you here with just a little jingle that we love in Philadelphia.